Hey guys, what's up? It's Alec Torelli, and in this video, in honor of Father's Day, I'd like to share with you 5 important things I learned from my dad. So these are lessons I learned growing up. I feel like they're timeless and really have helped me on my journey in life as well. So I remember the first lesson I learned is that the most important skill you can develop is communication. And I remember asking my dad this question in elementary school and middle school, where we were studying all these subjects and it was hard to make sense of their practical use in life. So I was like, how can we use biology? How can we use history? How can I use chemistry? When am I ever going to need this geometry thing? And so I asked my dad, like, look, if there's one thing I could focus on in school, what would it be? And he said writing, English, and on a larger scale, communication, because that skill transcends everything you're going to want to do in life. Right? Obviously, if you want to be a YouTuber or a speaker or a podcaster, sure, communication is important. But how about just communicating your skills in a job resume? Right? No matter what job you have, communicating your ability or your value or your worth to society or to a prospective client is extremely important. And those who are able to communicate better are generally going to get better opportunities in life, build better relationships, friendships, etc. So that was a super important one that I learned from a young age. The second one that I learned growing up is just that character is like the most important thing. It's everything. Your integrity in the way that you do things is far more important than the opportunity that is at stake. I remember when I was growing up, one of the first books my dad gave me was The Book of Virtues by Bill Bennett. And this was a little parable, and I think it's meant for kids or young adults, where all the stories are about animals that do different things and they all tell a moral story. And so I grew up and loved this book. My dad and I would discuss it. We would discuss the philosophy of the book and stuff like that. And so that was a great teaching for me. Parents, if you're watching, I think that's a great book to give the kids. And it really instilled values in me from a young age. And that has helped me immensely throughout my career and my journey, especially in an industry like poker where I came from, where large amounts of money are being loaned and trusted upon other people at the shake of a hand. And your word is really all you have. And so making that my bond was an extremely important lesson that I learned at a very young age, and it served me very well on my journey. The third thing I learned from my dad that really helped me is just the idea of being very practical in whatever it is that you do. So whenever I had something that I wanted to do, like a goal I was trying to accomplish, I would always remember sitting down with my dad and we would go over like an actionable step-by-step plan to get there. And this linear progressive thinking really helped me understand how to make sense of far off, seemingly intangible things that I wanted to accomplish and how to go through the best path to get there. And so today when I'm doing that, when I'm trying to tackle big things, or like I have a project with my team that we want to do and we're trying to launch a new product in 3 months, I've used some of those simple techniques that I learned growing up where it was like, okay, this is where you're trying to go. This is the big picture, right? This is the 30,000 foot view. And that's something to get excited about. But then what is the one actionable step that I can do today that will help me get to my goal? So if my goal is to launch a new product, okay, today I need to do research on what is the competition, or what are the, how do I outline the course? And how do I do a bullet points of what my progress is going to be on that journey. So it's really helped me be practical in the things that I attempt, and it's allowed me to not get overwhelmed when I'm trying to tackle big things, because I always have that tangible, practical approach, an actionable item that I could do immediately. The fourth thing I learned that was really helpful is, and I remember this on when I was in Boy Scouts, and I was doing an Eagle Scout project. And for those of you that don't know, it's like a very big project that you have to do, which requires, I think, 100 hours of work, and it has to be a service project for the community. And so I was building these cabinets for my school so they could store more things in the classroom. And I had to elicit the help of everyone else in my troop, and we had to budget out for how much everything was going to cost and build and get permits and all this sort of stuff. And so I remember thinking, we were thinking about this project, and again, going through that practical reverse engineering step of all the steps we needed to do to get there. So my dad would take me to Home Depot and we would budget and go shopping and measure the wood and all this stuff. So I remember thinking like, oh, I'm going to be done in a couple months, and then I'm going to, do this when that project is over. I remember my dad sat me down and said, everything you want to do takes twice as long as you think and costs twice as much as you expect. And that was a great lesson, because it turned out this project ended up taking a lot longer because of this or because of that. And it's easy to say, well, oh, those are just things that happen in isolation. But if you look at pretty much every big project that, at least for me, that I've wanted to do, there's always something unexpected that happens. There's always a hiccup that comes along the way. And so things always take twice as long, and they usually cost twice as much, or at least the upside of what you expect. Like if you're projecting revenues in something, it's usually about half of what you project. And I've noticed this along the way. So now that's allowed me to be a lot more conservative with my estimations. I don't necessarily get, my feet kind of staying on the ground with things that I'm projecting, and I think that's really, really helped me. The fifth, I think almost arguably one of the best pieces of advice that my dad gave me, is that he told me, I think it was on my 22nd birthday, we were out to dinner in a town in Italy, and ironically, this is the same town that I met my wife in, so it's kind of ironic. But he told me, Alec, the most important decision you're ever going to make in life is who you're going to marry. Because pretty much every decision you make after that about the direction of your life, like even how you raise your kids, or the decisions you make about the principles you have or the values you have as a family, or where you're going to live or what you're going to do or what you're going to focus on, is all based on who your partner is. And you guys make that journey together, and you build those decisions together. And so that was a great piece of advice, and I really took that to heart, and I did marry a great woman, I believe. So that's definitely helped me. Anyway, those are the 5 things I learned from my dad. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Which tip was your favorite? What did you learn from your dad? I know there's a lot of great fathers out there that have amazing advice. Share your thoughts in the comment below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.